Because of the windows.
Oh, because
Right.
they're going to leak.
What's that?
Because the windows are going to leak, or?
Yeah, I think you should ask him.
But that's the whole objective of why I'm getting water. The water is getting into those windows, is getting inside the wall and coming straight down to my grade and running in.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the problem is from the beginning.
Well, let's check.
So, Mark, why wouldn't we do like a full water test? You know, at least 2 floors up from like. Why is this
They
just
haven't complained of leaking.
It doesn't matter. We did,
Yeah.
like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So why are we not, you know, checking to see? Because this is just Mickey Mouse. Like I said, you know.
It's not Mickey Mouse. No,
Wow.
it's not Mickey Mouse.
No, but you got to. Can you at least over here get water?
No,
spray
unless
some more on 4.
Well,
spray some more on
I'm not going to
3.
go up and spray their suites unless there's somebody that can stand inside.
Well, then why don't you just go below their
I did.
cap? Not for long enough to get a volume of water where you're going to
It was long enough.
It wasn't long enough. When you have a storm
Yeah,
and you come into your kitchen and
Right.
you're standing into 2 inches of water,
right.
what you just did is not long enough.
Okay. Well, you take it up with the Strata Council because
Is
I've
that the
done my
direction
best.
that you've gotten?
Mark, but see,
I
this-
take my direction from
this,
the
but I know,
group,
Mark,
not
but
from you.
this is, no, I know, and I understand that, but this is the thing, while we're here, because now, you know, you're gonna write a letter saying you water tested it and it's fine, other than
No.
a few little windows.
That's right.
Yeah.
But you know, if
But the-
you were going to go and open someone else's window that you just sprayed,
Right.
at the window opening, water's going to come in
If I test the window, it's quite likely. Yeah,
because you've just opened the window.
the bulb gaskets are need replacing.
So just
Yeah.
let me say this, so you've got the, and you're the engineer, okay? You got all that glass on the side of the building.
Yes.
And all those windows, what I'm hearing you say is that those windows are leaking. Our window leaks, you can see it, and chances are,
I'm not
but
saying
you're not
anything.
saying,
No,
but
I'm not
but-
saying anything.
Okay, let's just say,
I'm packing up and going home. Right?
no, but let's say chances are they're leaking. So what
I'm not saying that.
But you've just seen it.
No, I've tested your suite and I've seen water come in at both of your opening vents. That's what I've seen.
So what happens tomorrow if there's a little staining on the tiles on the bottom where the water's seeped through? Then what?
I'm not sure what you mean, where water seeped through from where. I mean, we've made the water come in at the vents.
Right.
So
No, but
there's-
so you've got water on that inside wall, so the amount of volume that you put on there isn't going to create water to really flow out through the bottom because there's a lip in behind that wall. Just hear me. There's a lip in behind that wall, and I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but there's a cap and a flash where that little track's going to fill full of water, and then that water will overflow and come out the tiles. And you didn't spray enough water even to fill that track inside that wall.
Well, that wasn't the intent.
No, don't you want water to come out on the floor? Don't you
No.
want to see if water?
No.
Well, you don't want to see that.
So what was today's
Well, that's where the
exercise?
water's- that's
I'm
where-
not sure what it is then.
But no.
The intent was to find out where, if any places that the water was still coming in at your suite. And
But if you do that long, what I'm saying is if you do that a little
how long do you
longer-
want me to do it?
Well, I don't know, maybe a half an hour.
No,
Like-
you don't do it for half an hour.
Well, a storm can
This
last.
is a pretty rigorous
Yeah.
test.
But what you're
I mean,
doing- Yeah, I know, but
you
Mark-
can make it leak
yeah.
if you really try hard enough and long
No, but
enough.
what I'm saying is you've got all those windows, and when that water gets in behind that wall,
Yeah.
it all comes down, right? And
I'm not saying that water is getting in
No,
behind
but
that
let's
wall.
just say-
Well, I'm not going to say because I don't think it's happening.
but just let me say something. If it gets in behind the wall and it all runs down and it hits this bottom level, it's got nowhere to come but in. So what you've got is you've got volumes of water when you get a storm. So what happens if we get a sideways driving rainstorm and my kitchen's floor's all wet again? Then what do we do? Because
Then
I
you'll
think
have to-
one of the
Then you'll have to call us back. But for now, I don't think that's going to happen.
But wasn't one of the recommendations made in your report that you were going to do, if necessary, what was made, and I'm sure you've seen it by RDH, a minimum thing to do is at least in between the third and fourth floor and put an exit for the water that's coming down the tower. At least it doesn't fix the problem.
There's no water coming down the tower anymore. We've sealed all the wall all the way
But you
down.
haven't water tested it to prove that.
The only weak link is, Yeah, I'm just not going to go in on this with you right now, okay?
No, but
We'll write
what
a
I'm
report.
hearing,
We'll write a report, and you'll see the report, and you can go from there if you want to, right?
Yeah,
But
but
I'm not going to stand here and go on and on about this. You want to prove that your suite is leaking, and that's your agenda?
No,
and,
no.
And
My
I'm not here,
agenda is
and
to
I'm
get
not,
it fixed.
well,
I think
okay, and
everybody's
that's my
lost sight
agenda
of
as well.
fixing the
That's my
building.
agenda as well, to fix your suite.
Okay,
And I
then
believe,
let's test it to see to make sure it's not leaking.
I believe we have. If you want, if you
Can I
want to
say
do,
something?
Yeah.
I kind of disagree with this conversation. Like we had a conversation in there in regards to in the last month.
Yeah.
There's been 2 good storms.
Yeah.
So I'm disagreeing that you guys are saying that like water penetrating at a foot away from the window isn't doing its job, and I'm gray in regards to why you're thinking that.
Well, when there was a storm, the day after you guys took the tarps down,
We
you
had
guys-
a,
Which
we
a
had a
storm would be the whole wall.
right,
Yeah.
right. The day after you guys took the tarp down, the very next day
scaffold
there
was
was a
still up, but
side
the
driving
tarps were down.
Right.
The tiles were all stained in that unit along the wall.
And they went almost to
then
the
the
island.
Then the next storm
inside on the floor?
inside
Yeah.
on the floor. Now the next storm that happened was on September 30th. I flew in the night of September 29th. There was a big wind and rainstorm because there was branches laying all over. I come over the morning of the 30th and check the unit, and about 6 tiles back for an area this wide, the floor was all stained. I took pictures of it, and that was after you guys had the floor all cut out and your sealant done.
Okay. There's a certain
So that's
amount
telling me that it's still,
I haven't seen these pictures. We just finished the repairs. I don't know how long ago you finished the,
The torch one was finished, I say, 3 weeks ago.
yeah. So let's take it from here. Yeah, I don't know what you photographed or when you photographed, but I know that the work was in progress.
so what we do now is at this point we wait until it leaks again till we get the next driving rain.
You want it to leak. Yeah, if it leaks again, then we'll have to
hey,
approach
I
it
want-
again.
No, trust me, I want it fixed.
Yeah, well, I want it fixed too.
If I knew only the bottom was leaking, we wouldn't be here,
Yeah.
but with all the other, and I don't know with all the other reports, whether you read them, but,
I did read them.
okay.
But
now-
after you've given your report.
I made subsequent reports. I'm saying I did the initial report without reading them, and it was deliberately made that way for me because they wanted an independent opinion, and that's what they got.
Okay,
And there's no secret to that.
so have you read RDH's leak
Yeah,
investigation
I've read it.
report?
I've read it all.
Okay, so you know then that they flood tested that patio and that they found no water coming in from
Well, you had
the grade or below.
you had the edges caulked, which was probably saving you in the short run, but there were also membrane problems, which we fixed.
No, but you knew that there was no water coming in from grade.
The membrane, I don't know where the water was coming from. Their report was not clear to me where exactly it was coming from.
So, and I don't want to go into that thing, but.
So I have to arrive at my own conclusions.
Yeah, so can I ask one question then? How are you sure in the letter you wrote the other day instead of?
Which other day?
Well, your September
September
5th,
letter
I
that you
think.
said that you identified the problem with 305, that it was deteriorated.
Well,
along
that
the
was
grade.
one problem. I didn't say it was the problem.
Well,
But
they're
was
taking it
certainly-
as it is the problem, because we
No.
gotta, well, you better correct that with.
No, it's one problem. You know,
Okay.
there
Okay,
were
that's-
many problems with this building, and we fixed a lot of them, and that was one other one that we discovered. And I had to insist that we were going to repair it.
So, but in there you said you've discovered that was, okay, and I'll just say that was the problem, the leakage with 305. So, and I'm confused at how do you know that if you
It
don't?
was a point of
water
leakage.
test? Pardon me?
It was a point of leakage.
A point of leakage.
So there's several points, obviously.
So there's different points of leakage as well.
Originally, before we started.
So now,
So how do we know that we've licked all the problems without properly doing a proper test, like a full rack test? And what
You
would
know-
anybody be scared of? Hell, what would that cost?
It would
Like-
damage floor finishes, and we've done this before. We've gone into finished buildings and
Yeah.
inadvertently damaged floors. I mean, even if the water just starts coming in, and you can test at conditions that will never occur in nature, or maybe only occur once every 10 years. And, these people have never reported leakage. Why would you do that? Why would you deliberately ruin their hardwood floor?
Yeah, but all you see all the way up the tower is baseboards that are swollen and stuff. But
No, I
I'm
don't
the
see
guy. I'm the
things like
guy.
that.
Huh?
I don't see things like that.
Well, it was in quite a few of the floors.
Well, I don't know. People haven't reported that to us.
No, they
Yeah,
haven't.
well, you can go to 1005 unless she's changed hers, the lady in 1005, they're just swollen like up, like nothing, straight above us. But anyways,
Well, there were a